everybody and welcome back to my channel. Happy Sustainability Saturday. Today I am doing something that I have been thinking about all year. I am going to be making an entirely vegetarian Thanksgiving meal for you guys, and I got all the recipes off of Pinterest. I went and bought all of the ingredients, and now I'm just going to take you guys along the journey of me actually making the food. So I'm really excited to share this with you. If you are vegetarian or vegan, I will explain some of the vegan options. I believe the only thing that there is milk in some of the items, and I'm sure you could substitute it for almond milk. I don't know how the almond milk would work though, because I know that with some things you need the milk enzymes to make it fully work. So I'm not positive about that, but I would assume that you would be able to just add almond milk or oat milk or any kind of nut milk you like. And other than that, all of the ingredients that I have for this meal is completely vegetarian. If you're like me on a strict vegetarian diet, this is a great video to watch because you will be able to make an entire meal with all the sides, main dishes, everything completely vegetarian. So if you do like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you tried any of these dishes and how they tasted, and hit that big red subscribe button and join Team Environmental. I'm so excited to share this video with you today. So let's get started. So as you can see, I have all the ingredients all lined up and ready to go. Today we will be making stuffing, a tofurkey, which is a tofu turkey, mashed potatoes, homemade vegetarian gravy, roasted carrots, sweet potato casserole, pumpkin pie, and I believe that's it. Don't quote me on that because I don't really remember everything I bought, but I have it all here, and I'm going to be looking at the recipes on Pinterest, and I'll have a second point of view for you guys over here. So let's get started. I honestly don't know where to begin because all of this is very overwhelming to me, because I have all this food and I don't know where to start. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start with the tofurkey because that takes an hour and 20 minutes and takes time to preheat. And then while that's working, I'm gonna peel the sweet potatoes and the potatoes and start working on those. Yeah, sounds like a plan. So now I have all of the potatoes cut and peeled, and the next step is to cover with water. And then I'm going to add 3 cloves of minced garlic. I just bought the organic already minced garlic for this because I don't like mincing garlic. It's too much work. I believe 3 cloves is about 3 tablespoons. I'm just gonna put 2 big scoops in. Next, I'm just going to add a little bit of salt in there. And we're just gonna put it on a medium-high heat. And once they start boiling, we're just gonna let them simmer for 10 to 15 minutes, and that way they are easily mashed so we can mash them. So now that my potatoes are done cooking, I'm going to strain them and then put them in a container and mash them. I'm super excited. I've never mashed potatoes before, so this is really fun for me. And then we'll add the other ingredients. Next, I'm going to add half a cup of milk and 3 tablespoons of butter onto a saucepan and just wait until it warms up a little bit, and then put that into the potatoes. So now that my potatoes and the milk and butter mixture is all done getting warmed up, we're just gonna pour that into the mashed potatoes. And we're gonna mix them all together. I'm gonna add a little bit more milk because they're not as creamy as I like them to be. And now I'm just going to add sour cream and salt to taste, just to add a little bit more flavor to it. Oh my god. These might be the best potatoes I've ever tasted in my life. Wow. I'm a chef. Like, again, if you're making this vegan, you can also use almond milk, I would assume, and it would do the same thing. And then you can omit the sour cream. I just did that because I like sour cream a lot, and I'm vegetarian, not vegan. So that's it for the mashed potatoes. The mashed potatoes are completely done. Okay, so now we're going to make vegetarian gravy. Like I said earlier, my Tofurkey came with a lot of gravy, but I already bought the stuff to make gravy, so I was like, I might as well. So I already chopped up the onions and put them in the skillet. And now I have some sliced baby bella mushrooms, and I'm gonna put I put about half an onion, and then I'm gonna put about a cup in here. I'm gonna put maybe half or 3/4 of this container right here. I don't know where my towel went. Now we're going to add some butter. So I melted some butter down in the microwave. You're supposed to actually add it to the skillet first, but I didn't realize that. So we're just gonna add that in. We're just gonna let this sit until it's like cooked down a little bit, and I will come back when that is done. So I put the mushrooms and the onions into a saucepan, and they are all hot and ready to be made into gravy. So now I'm gonna add 1 cup of vegetable broth into here, and we're just gonna blend it. So now we have a beautifully blended drink that I'm not going to drink, but it is the onions, vegetable broth, and mushrooms. So next I'm gonna add 1/3 cup of flour to my butter mix for my gravy. And I'm supposed to whisk it, but I don't have a whisk anymore, so we're just gonna mix it together. Next, I'm gonna add 2 cups of vegetable broth and 3 teaspoons of soy sauce. Next, I'm going to add the mixture I made earlier of the mushrooms and onions. And we're just gonna continue mixing this. So I added salt and pepper for taste, and I'm gonna try it now for the first time. I'm really nervous. I'm not a big gravy fan to begin with, but I've heard that this is like stellar vegetarian gravy, so. I am such a good cook. Like, I am in love with this. I need to make this every year from now on. This is delicious. Definitely make this if you guys are making a meal. If you're following along, this is for sure something you need to make. So the next thing we're gonna make is the Tofurkey, which last year I really wanted to get a Tofurkey, but I just didn't have the money, and this year I saved enough money to be able to get one. They're only like $10, but I didn't have a lot of money last year. And so I'm just using an actual Tofurkey branded turkey. So it came with instructions. It also came with a lot of gravy. I didn't realize there was gonna be this much gravy, and I'm making my own gravy later too. So we're gonna have a lot of gravy. And this is what the Tofurkey looks like. It's a little round turkey. Never tried it. I also am not supposed to eat soy, so this is gonna be interesting because this is made out of tofu. So we're just gonna follow the instructions on the actual Tofurkey. So I preheated the oven to 350 degrees. Now I'm just gonna cut open the turkey. There's supposed to be stuffing inside of this as well, which is kind of exciting. I'm a big stuffing fan. I'm just gonna put it in the middle of the pan. Apparently we have to make a baste as well. So I've got vegetable oil. It says 1 tablespoon. We're gonna eye it, okay? Okay, so it's 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil. 1 tablespoon of soy sauce. And now I'm just gonna mix them together. says to pour half of it onto the Tofurkey. Now we're going to cover it with aluminum foil. And now we're going to put it in the oven for 1 hour and 20 minutes. Our Tofurkey is also done now, so I'm going to take that out. And then now I'm going to add the rest of the base that I made earlier. So next I'm going to be making the green bean casserole. So I just have a can of green beans. I'm going to take 2 cans of green beans, strain them, and then dump them into my dish. This recipe does call for a lot more green beans. It calls for 5 cans, but I'm only one person and I didn't want to make that much green beans, so I split the recipe in half. Okay, next we're going to add the cream of mushroom soup, 1 cup of milk, which, remember, I split this in half, so we're only going to need half a cup of milk. I haven't even had a single drink of regular milk in like 10 years, so this is going to be fun. And 1 teaspoon of soy sauce. Again, I'm just going to do this. Good enough. And then we're going to mix it all together. It looks like this. Not very appetizing yet. And then I'm gonna wait until my timer gets down to 25 minutes, and then I'm gonna put this in there for 25 minutes. And the oven is at 350 degrees. So next for the green beans is I'm gonna take them out of the oven, and I'm going to add the crispy onions on top. So I just got some crispy onions. Gonna put them on top of that, and then we're gonna put the green beans back into the oven for about another 5 minutes. Next I'm gonna start on the stuffing. I kind of copped out and just got a package of stuffing mix, and then it says that I need to add onion, celery, broth, butter, and then the stuffing, and just put it in the oven, on the top of the oven. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I am going to cut up the celery and onion, and then we are going to heat up the celery and onion on the stovetop and then mix it together and put it in the oven. I guess that's how you do this. I've never made stuffing, so I've never made any of this food, and it's turning out to be really good so far, so hopefully this turns out good too. So next for the stuffing, we're gonna add the rest of the vegetable, well, 2 cups, which is about the rest of this, into the mixture of onions and celery. And we're going to bring that to a boil. And once that's boiling, we're going to add the stuffing mix and take it off of the burner and mix it all together. And then the stuffing will be ready to go into the oven. Now I'm going to put the stuffing into the oven for the next 35 minutes at 350 degrees. So next I'm going to cut up my sweet potatoes so I can put them into the pot and get them boiling so I can make my sweet potato casserole. So now that I have my sweet potatoes all chopped up, I'm just going to set them on the burner and let them boil so that I can mash them. The sweet potatoes are now done boiling, so I'm going to take them out and strain them and then mash them in the container that they are in, and then put them into a casserole dish and mix in the other ingredients. Now we're going to add the finishing touches to the sweet potato casserole. My phone died, so I can't get you guys the other angle. I'm sorry about that. But we're gonna add half a cup of melted butter, which is a whole stick, 1/3 of a cup of milk. Again, you can use vegan substitutes for those. 1/4 of a cup of 100% real maple syrup. 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar. Okay, there's a little bit more than 2/3 in there. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And last but not least, we're gonna add some salt. And then we're just gonna mix it all together. Oh my god, that's so good. Wow. It's not even done, it's super good. Now I'm just going to add it to the casserole dish. And now we're gonna make the topping. So next we're gonna make the pecan topping for the sweet potato casserole. And if you guys remember, this is my little friend, and we are going to chop up the pecans in here. I don't think I've used this since my last YouTube video I made with this, so this should be fun. After we got done crumbling up all of the pecan halves, I'm going to mix in 3 tablespoons of butter melted, half a cup of brown sugar. Again, I'm just gonna eye it. And half a teaspoon of sea salt. Now we're gonna mix it all together, and it's supposed to look like sand, have a sand-like consistency. Looks like wet sand. And now we're just going to put it on top of the casserole and kind of spread it around. I understand now why it's supposed to be a sand-like consistency, because this is not going on here very well. And now we're just going to put it into the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes. Next, I'm going to be making a pumpkin pie, which is my absolute favorite part of Thanksgiving. I kind of cheated and just bought a pie crust because I don't know how to make pie crust, and I really, after cooking for 7 hours, I really didn't want to have to make a pie crust. So I'm just gonna follow the recipe for, it's kind of a cop-out recipe for, it's like 6 ingredients, but it says to preheat the oven to 425 degrees. And then mix all of the ingredients together in a mixing bowl. So I'm gonna put pumpkin, sweetened condensed milk, eggs, salt, and pumpkin pie spice into the mixing bowl, mix them all together, and then pour it into the pie crust. Again, obviously, because I'm adding eggs and the sweetened condensed milk, this is not vegan, this is just vegetarian. If you do want a vegan option, I would suggest looking at alternatives. I know applesauce is an amazing alternative for eggs. I don't know if it would work out in this recipe, but I would definitely look on Pinterest or online to see what you can do. There's the meal all completed. It looks beautiful and gorgeous, and I can't wait to eat it. So I've taken bites of the food here and there while I was making it, but I haven't tried the whole thing completed. So here's the first bite of stuffing. That was so good. Next, I'm going to try the mashed potatoes with the gravy. The mashed potatoes are so buttery, and the gravy is like literally to die for. Alright, I'm gonna try the Tofurkey next. It's a little hard to cut, so I'm literally just gonna pick it up like this and just bite into it and see if I like it. It definitely doesn't taste like a turkey, but it's really good. Next, we're gonna try the green beans. So good. And finally, I'm going to try the sweet potato casserole. This is the best sweet potatoes I've ever had in my entire life.